Ramble.
This episode is presented by DoorDash. Use promo code SITWITHUS for 25% off your order of $15 or more. Also, thank you to BetterHelp, ShipStation, DoorDash, Mint Mobile, and Chime for sponsoring this episode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of You Can Sit With Us. We are coming to you live from the Try Guys studio. All four of our significant others are in the office today.
Woo woo.
And they're making it very difficult for us to film because they all need something.
Always.
They all need something. Anywho, so with that in mind, we are going to start this episode. My name is Ariel. Great to meet you. I'm one of your hosts, and I am joined by Becky.
Hi.
Maggie.
Hello.
And Matt.
Hola.
And today we are talking about the concept of home. We all, I guess I could say recently bought homes, and we've been thinking a lot about homes and making our homes nice. Yeah, and so our podcast Pixie, Miles over there, and Rainie, who have put together some questions for us. And I think we're going to start with our childhood homes today. Yeah, so I think everybody knows where we grew up, right? We've talked about it before. But why don't we give them a little refresher? Matt?
So I was born in upstate New York, outside of Binghamton, New York. But then when I was like 6 or 7 months old, we moved to outside of Atlanta, Georgia. So I actually grew up like my adolescent years in Georgia until high school. And then we moved back to upstate New York. So we kind of moved around a lot.
Okay.
During my childhood, you know? I do. I think the one we spent kind of the longest in Georgia when I was in kind of elementary school, starting to get into middle school. We had a little horse farm. We had 3 horses and like 10 acres and stuff. So it was
Did you have to
a
water
big
them?
house. Had to water them, feed them, exercise them, brush them,
Love
you know, clean up all the poop, all the stuff, you know? Yeah.
3 horses, lots of poops.
Yeah, but we moved around a couple times kind of in each state. So it's hard to really pinpoint that feeling of which house was the home because there were so many different ones.
I had a similar experience.
Yeah.
Moving around a lot. Yeah. Born in Long Beach, California. And then we moved to Houston when I was about 6. And then we moved to London when I was about 15.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But and then met Ned in Chicago. And then back to LA, full circle.
LA was the
Circle of
sunshine
life.
was calling you back.
It really was.
Like, come
It
here.
really, really was. But when I think of my family home, it's Houston. Isn't that funny? It's like it's not where I went to high school. It was where I like spent those formative childhood years.
Yeah.
You know, like middle school, elementary school.
It was the same with me. Yeah.
That's
exactly.
where I met all of my like friends that I have had for my entire life. You know, like those friends that you keep forever.
Carol.
Carol.
We all know about Carol. Shout out to Carol.
Love you, Carol.
Love you, Carol.
How about you, Becky? Because I know that you
No, I had a very similar experience of moving around all the time. Just kidding. I never moved. Well, technically we did move. So when I was born in the outskirts of Chicago, Illinois,
South suburbs, right?
Southwest suburbs. My parents actually lived in an apartment. So I was in an apartment until I was like 2-ish. Apartment 8, shout out, woo woo. So I don't have any memories of apartment 8, but I know it existed. And like when I see pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, there's that apartment. And like my parents' stories of us being babies were all like running us around the hallways and like the neighbors and things like that. And of course, like anytime I lived in an apartment where there was a child and I was annoyed with something, my parents would be like, well, we were those people once, so be nice. They're having a hard time.
they can't keep their child in their tiny apartment.
Yeah. So when I was 2, we moved to a house, and then that's the house my parents still live in. But it's had some, they've renovated it since, but...
Do you still have a room and a bed in your house?
Okay, yeah. So
Is it
my
still
parents,
decorated the same as when you were a child?
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no.
Bummer.
My parents love me more than my brother, so I still have a bed, and his room is the gym.
Nice.
Sucker. So I still have a bed, but nothing else is mine. But they try, every time we go back, they try and give me something new to take with me. And I'm like, I don't think I need the memories of me. You need the memories of me. I'm not here. I'm with myself all the time.
I don't need to read my journals from elementary school.
Yeah,
Well, where does the Barbie collection live then?
So
Is it
Barbie
not in your
collection
old
lives
room?
it's half in my room, and then the other half is in my brother's room.
It's a big
Which is
collection.
a gym. Yeah. So there's about 30 some odd Barbies in there. They were partying.
God damn.
Lots of memories.
It's that that translates into cashola.
I think I need more time. I looked up a couple of them. No,
Like, wait 100 more
I'm
years.
not retiring on those Barbies yet. But yeah, my parents still live in my childhood home. So yeah, I have lots of memories of being there. And then when I was 18, went to college, did summer school. So I didn't really come home except for like one summer. And then moved to Chicago. Lived in an apartment right after. I think I stayed home for like maybe a month or 2 after graduation. But I think it's hard. I mean, like once you leave your parents' house, you're like, I cannot live here anymore. This is
freedom,
this
the
is
freedom.
too much. We live different lives.
So true.
But I do always like going home because my mom cooks for me. She'll switch my laundry for me.
Ooh.
I will say after college,
It's like a B&B.
Yeah, I would bring my it's like an Airbnb. I would bring my laundry home, and my mom would do my laundry.
How about you, Maggie?
I have a similar experience to Becky as well. So I grew up I was like 4 miles from Disneyland, so Anaheim. And my parents actually live in the same childhood home that I was born in. I think that they moved once. My older sister is 3 years older than me, and I think they moved like down the street once. And then I've just been in the same house ever since.
Wow.
My current childhood bedroom turned into my older sister, who still lives at home's home office last year. Yeah. And I think it's half, I think they have a couple like gym equipment / storage. And then my youngest sister's bedroom is still completely intact. So we know
she is
who's
the one they love
We know
the
who's
most.
the
She's the favorite. Yeah. So yeah. And I have like a lot of memories there too. And I think my first year of college, I went to college in LA, so I was only about like an hour and 15 with traffic from college, and I went home almost every single weekend. I
What a
had
dedicated daughter.
Yeah, I was like super close to my family, and I just always wanted to be home. I also lived in a single dorm because they ran out of doubles and triples by the time I had enrolled in dorm.
You got to live alone.
I had to live alone. There was no other option.
It's just too lonely. She had to go
Yeah.
home.
the dream.
Yeah.
But imagine being a
It was
freshman in
sad.
college and not knowing anybody and living by yourself.
It was rough.
Yeah.
I had to share a bathroom, so I like had some contact with someone. Like we lived. They were
Like
like
when
tiny
you're brushing
studio.
your teeth or pooping.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
So I'm like, hey, what's up,
Yeah.
girl? But yeah, it was good though because it was like the first year of college was like super like curriculum focused, and it was when I had to test into nursing school. So like it was kind of nice to have like no distractions. But I also missed my family a ton, and I like always just went back at every opportunity that I did. And then eventually when I stopped going home as much, my mom and dad were like, hey, why aren't you coming? So I had to wean them off too.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't get this vision of Maggie out of my head of like Maggie in the bathroom. You know, there's like 3 stalls or something, and she sees other people walk in, and she opens the door while she's sitting on the toilet. And she's like, "Hi, I'm Maggie.
Hi, want to get coffee?
Yeah, no, it was literally like a tiny bathroom the size of a closet with a shower and a toilet and a sink. And that was, and you shared it with another person. So like I could hear the other person kind of listening to music. It was very dungeon-like.
Wow.
Very dungeon-like. Yeah.
Mine was polar opposite. It was a bunch of stalls like in a gym and a bunch of single stalled showers.
That's how I think the setup was at like the doubles and
Yeah.
triple
Right.
dorm room. Like I had a very bizarre college experience, guys. Like very bizarre. Here
So
I
do
am.
you still call it home? Like when you're going to visit your parents,
Mm-hmm.
do you say I'm going home?
It's labeled in my Google Maps as home.
Wait,
Actually, no, it's not.
I was gonna say,
I say-
I was like, what about your home?
Magali and Victor home.
Magali and Victor.
Mm-hmm.
Mama's home.
Because you can still have Google labels. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Versus
Yeah.
like
And then
the
you
saved
clip it.
ones at top. That's like work home.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys say you're going home when you go to Houston or like when you go visit your parents, or you say I'm seeing my parents?
One of my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
my
say
parents,
going to
yeah.
Chicago.
And my parents, they move around more than I do. Now. Oh my goodness. They're all over the place. I just spent the last 10 days with them, and shout out to my parents. They cooked every single meal.
That's amazing.
Maggie was there with us for
they're the
Amazing.
best. They're so
they,
nice.
they cooked, and they like took care of the kids. Like we went skiing one day,
Gosh,
and
vacation.
I know it really felt like a vacation.
Grandma, grandpa
we were
over.
teaching Wes how to ski, and
Aw.
yeah, it was very, very fun. But yes, I mean, my parents still have a place in Texas. They actually they rented out our childhood home, and that house recently went on the market and just got sold. And I was looking. My dad was showing me it was the renters who were selling it because it's complicated. And my dad was showing me the listing. It looks completely different.
Is that
Like
weird?
Completely
unrecognizable?
different.
Yeah.
Almost unrecognizable. Yeah. When I was growing up, I mean, I was born in 1985, and so the cabinets were like blonde wood.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the people who had been living there painted everything white. It was so white, and it was like white furniture, white cabinetry, white carpets. Everything was white. It was like glowing, and my parents hated it. They were like, "Everything is white." I remember I had like navy blue carpet in my room because my parents let us pick our carpet, and they took
Like
us to
any color but white.
yeah, they took us to wherever, like Home Depot or something, and they're like, pick whatever color you want. And I was like, oh yeah, I choose dark blue. Yeah,
I feel like you should have chosen like bubblegum pink or something like,
I wasn't really a pink girl.
something crazy. Like navy's pretty
Tie-dye.
I know.
It's a
Very
statement.
classic
especially for a
color,
little
yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I wanted something dark that matched
Dark
the
and
darkness in
stormy.
my heart.
She was
Dark and
moody.
stormy.
I was a teenager.
There's a moody tween.
Or a tween, yeah.
Yeah, because when I think of home, I think more of like what I do with my parents rather than the place. So it's like more like food,
Yeah.
drinking, those type of celebrating things rather than wherever it's happening.
Yes.
The
Totally.
location. Yeah, they're
Shout
pretty
out to
fun.
Betsy.
She is so cute.
Yeah, my parents are fun. They're party people. They party more than I do, I feel like.
My
They have their
parents
groups
too.
of friends and have all these events and stuff.
I asked my parents. So we had planned that they were going to stay with us while Ned was shooting the Food Network thing, and they forgot and invited a bunch of people to go skiing with us. So they're going to be like staying with friends, and I was like, guys, we had a plan.
We had an agreement,
partying.
Mom.
They are crazy now that they're both retired. They're just like
Living life.
yeah, they're just living it up.
No, that's
They go to Costco and just like
living life at
Stock up,
Costco.
stock up on
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Party supplies. You need it when you're having all those people over.
It's so
Gotta be
true.
prepared.
Gotta get those big bag of chips.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something my parents have only recently started doing is drinking at all.
Uh-oh.
They've started drinking a little more. Yeah.
Wow.
My mom jokingly said, everyone's doing it in the pandemic, so
I should.
I think I should do it too. And they still only like them drinking is like a glass of wine. But my mom did have two one night, and I was like, go Kim.
Yeah. We all gotta start
You
somewhere,
got
you know?
this. Yeah. I remember the first time I went like with a friend on like, I don't know if it was like Thanksgiving or some like family holiday that I was with a friend's family, and everyone was drinking, like all the parents and all the aunts and uncles, and it was so weird. I was like,
I'm not used to this.
you guys have alcohol at your parties? There's alcohol? This is crazy. This is crazy. Your parents drink?
Oh, man.
Online shipping isn't slowing down anytime soon. Is your business ready to keep up with the pace? With ShipStation, you'll never worry about shipping again. Make the switch to a solution that handles all your shipping needs quickly, affordably, and painlessly. I have a ton of friends that use ShipStation for their small business, and it is so easy to use, and they save a ton of money. You can save time by funneling all of your orders into one simple interface, no matter where you're selling. Save your sanity knowing orders are handled and you're getting the best rates. No wonder 98% of companies that use ShipStation for a year keep using it for as long as they're in business. It's that good. Ship more in less time with ShipStation. Use our offer code SITWITHUS to get a 60-day free trial. That's 2 months free of no hassle, stress-free shipping. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and type in SITWITHUS. ShipStation. Make ship happen. Don't you hate when you go to the grocery store and you forget that one crucial item that you needed to make dinner or lunch? I hate when that happens. And that's why I love DoorDash. DoorDash connects you with the restaurants you love right now and right to your door. And now you can get the grocery essentials you need with DoorDash too. Get snacks, drinks, and other household items delivered in under an hour. Ordering is easy. Open the DoorDash app, choose what you want from where you want, and your items will be left safely outside your door with the contactless delivery drop-off setting. With over 300,000 partners in the US, Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national chain restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, and Cheesecake Factory. For a limited time, you guys can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees with your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code SITWITHUS. That's 25% off up to a $10 value and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code SITWITHUS. Don't forget, that's code SITWITHUS for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply.
My parents weren't like big drinkers either. We were a big Martinelli's family.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sparkle.
I don't know why. Both of them just like weren't super into, like my dad will have like a glass of red wine, sometimes a bottle to himself when he's like having dinner or we have like a nice dinner together. But it wasn't something super common that I saw growing up. We had like this really weird, not weird, we had this very large, kind of like a liquor cabinet. All my friends joked that it looked like Narnia, though. It was a piece that my mom, I think, got from South America somewhere. But they had like all these weird liqueurs and stuff, and we wouldn't, yeah.
And nobody
And they're still
No one
there.
drank it. I'm pretty
Still
sure
there
it's
to this
still
day.
there.
Same bottles.
Yeah, but like I like to make my mom cocktails sometimes. Like she'll like have one of those, but like she doesn't actively like seek out drinking a ton. She's like, she always likes to tell me, I think this is like her way of tricking me, but she's like, liver failure is super ugly, Maggie. Like, I don't think our family doesn't handle alcohol well. So just be aware. I'm like, okay.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Thanks,
Like, good to know. Good to know.
Are you guys game people? Like, do you do like family games?
I feel like Zach's side of the family is super game oriented. So we play a lot of games with them. My parents are more of like sit and chat and we can talk for like hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice.
And eat. Yes.
Yeah, we all eat around a big table
Yeah.
and just, I think that we didn't really do that when I was a kid. Like all eat around, our schedules were all over the place. Danielle and I would have rowing practice and, so like dinners would sort of be like on the go.
Right.
Yeah.
But now as adults, I treasure that
Moments of
sitting around
silence.
and
Yeah.
eating and, and now even with the babies, like that's something that we do with our kids too, where we just love having them sitting at the table with us because Finn's such a hoot right now. You ask him like, where's your nose? And he goes, ha ha. He knows exactly where it is. It's
Nailed
very cute.
it.
It's very cute.
Discovering
very
life.
cute.
Yeah. Do you guys have big extended families? Like, was like big family parties a thing at your house, or was it more
Like holidays.
like insular family?
Almost never for me.
Yeah.
But my dad has a sister and my mom has a brother, but we didn't see them very much.
Yeah, my mom's one of 3 sisters, and each of them have kids. So when we did get together, it was like a big family hoopla.
Lots of kids.
And are
Lots
they
of
in New
food.
York?
They were all in upstate New York. Yeah.
My dad has one brother, but he moved around a bit. And then my mom is one of four. So she had three brothers, but they live all over. So like having big holiday parties, we like went to a lot of parties where I would call people my tia and Theo, but they were like family friends. As of recently, it's a lot more nuclear family.
I have a pretty like good size extended family. And since my parents met in high school, their families knew each other since high school. They were all roughly the same age. Like I have one uncle who's a little older, but other than that, like everybody like either went to high school together, like stuff like that. And then really not a lot of them went to college. So they all kind of stayed home. So yeah, I had all of my like cousins and family over. I would say as we got older, you know, differences happen. You start seeing people less. But when I was little,
Grow apart.
and all of my cousins and I were all roughly the same age.
Oh, that's nice.
Within like a couple years of each other. And then I have some cousins who are like wildly older than me that I've like really only met like once or twice. But I was the first girl.
Oh,
So I was special.
The queen.
Yeah, and then I actually, my uncle got married when I was like 11, and that's when I got my cousin Dana, and she had said that my papa was her papa, and I didn't really like, I was kind of mean, and so I punched her.
Territorial. So
Because
territorial.
I was like very like, I was like, no,
he is mine.
that's my papa, and I am the only girl in this family, so watch yourself. Yeah. Now she could beat the shit out of me. Absolutely.
Becky from the South
She's much stronger than me now.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't try it again. When I was 11. Oh yeah.
For my papa.
Yeah. So we always had cousins and family and stuff like that around at parties. And then my parents both have very, well, I guess my mom more than my dad has very close friends, lady friends from work. Because both my parents worked at their jobs pretty much that was their only job. Like they didn't switch jobs, maybe like moved around in the company, but didn't switch jobs. So all of my mom's like teacher friends were at my wedding.
Oh.
And my aunt is my, well, I call her my aunt, but she's my mom's best friend. She's my godmother.
I love that.
Yeah, and she went to college with my mom.
You guys can disagree, but I kind of feel like you guys are extended family. You know, like
100%.
like the boys are growing up having you guys around more than like my extended family, and your children are going to be like cousins. You know, they already call you uncles and aunties. You know, like, do you think that is that just us, or is sort of life moving in that direction? Is like.
I
feel like
I grew
more
up with
people-
that, but I think more people are doing it now.
Yeah.
Like I have some friends that are like, "Oh, you're not Auntie Becky."
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not like a lot of them, but like,
Okay, Aunt Becky.
yeah, they're like, "Well, you're not an aunt," and it's like, "Oh, okay, no problem. I don't mind. It's cool. Call me Becky. It's fine. But yeah, I would say most of my friends who have kids,
Auntie.
auntie and uncle,
Yeah.
I feel like especially because a lot of times you don't live near your nuclear
Extended
family.
Yeah.
And I feel like auntie and uncle, like kind of
Even
like you
with
were
my
saying,
dog,
Maggie,
I'm like, Becky or Bowie, go say hi to Auntie Becky.
right. But it's you know, it's not. It's more of like a term of affection, rather than a like a specification.
You ain't my
know, like this is your
family.
aunt. She is my sister.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like this is somebody who's important to us in our family.
Yeah. I think it
I love
teaches
that.
kids nice things about like, you know, I think we all have friends that we consider family too, that we've had for a long time, that like blood is not the only thing that makes you a family, you know, like it's way beyond.
Emotional.
I've never had sisters till you guys.
That's true. You only have a brother.
I only had a brother. You are my girlfriend. No. Except for you, Matt.
Yeah, watch out.
You're a mean older brother.
Maggie's about to bring that 11-year-old punch.
Right?
Bring it back.
Probably.
Betsy's actually my best friend. Funny story about Betsy.
Yes, go on.
She has no poker face.
Oh,
She has-
Betsy is
Matt's mom. She has no poker face. She asked me what's up on FaceTime, like what's new, and it was right before I got my tattoo of my cat. Betsy's face.
It's a good story.
Literally, she was like, "What?" I was like, "I'm getting a tattoo, Betsy," and she goes, oh, of what? And I was like, my cats. It's going to be my cats on my arm. And she just goes,
Betsy can tell no lies.
She will always be a mom.
yeah. She was just a very mom, like,
Always let you know how she's feeling.
Yeah.
She's not shy in that way. Though I don't think any of our moms are shy in that way.
No.
No.
I don't think I haven't spent much time with Maggie's mom.
Oh yeah.
We need to
When
spend
she
more
needs to come around
time.
more. But yeah, I feel like she would. I mean, she's so like open. I feel like she would be like, yeah, get that. But then at the second it's me, there she's like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
As long as it's someone else's kids, they're fine with it.
I told my mom I was going to get a second piercing
And she
on
freaked
my
out?
ears,
Ooh.
and I still haven't gotten it because of. I mean, she was.
She shamed you.
She was sort of like, because I was like, yeah, I'm going to bring Danielle, and she was like, you are going to take your sister to get a second piercing
I
too?
love your mom.
Like what? Are you
Scandalosa.
We're old
Like,
enough.
I'm like, Mom,
Like, I have children.
6 years old. It's just what people do now.
True.
I'll take you.
At
Ariel.
36,
I'll be your
you're
bad
allowed.
influence.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
God.
We'll get you that piercing, that little tattoo you wanted.
You know what's
Yeah,
weird?
Becky will
I do
influence
want. I do
you.
want
And
a
Becky's
tattoo.
coming
I do want a
over.
tattoo. And like I asked my sister to go with me because I thought that would be like a fun thing. And she was like, "Have you talked to Mom about that?" I was like,
Oh, she knows.
Danielle wants the permission.
Danielle's scared.
Oh my god! Does your mom think you're going to like a tattoo studio and you're going to get like
Maybe she
ideas?
thinks, maybe when I said a second piercing, I wasn't specific about like a second piercing in my ear.
Oh.
And she thought I was going to get like
Where
a
do you
nose
have
piercing
another first
or
piercing?
no, I don't.
Ariel.
Maybe she thought like you know
Ariel.
that my ears were my first piercing and my second piercing is something else.
Ooh,
You know?
your mom has an imagination.
It could have been, yeah. Maybe I'm getting a eyebrow piercing.
Maybe.
or-
Whoa.
Who knows?
Get
Yeah.
those cheeks, you know.
Yeah, I want the.
Yeah, get a Marilyn.
Yes. Wait, Becky knows all the names.
Cute.
Just giving you some good ideas.
I have the least amount of earrings of like my girlfriends that do any sort of body modifications. They've got like titties and belly buttons, and that was not for me.
Yeah.
That was
yet.
not for me.
I have a couple
Even
girlfriends
thinking
who have-
about it hurts.
I know. Oh, yeah. I have a couple girlfriends. Yeah. My pain tolerance. I talked to Becky about getting my second piercing for months. I was such like, I can do needles. I watch needles go into people all day, but for some reason, a needle entering and exiting, and it wasn't even that bad. But I was so spooked. I was like, Becky, can you come and hold my hand? I'm so scared. She's
I was like, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm polar opposite. I don't like looking at a needle like to get an injection. But if you're like, do you want to get like your cartilage pierced today? I'd be like, okay. Sure. Like, it's just my ear.
I have that image of like House of Wax. Is that the Paris Hilton one where they like cut the Achilles? I'm like, ooh. So anything, something like cartilage, I'm like, ooh. But
that
I already want.
heebie-jeebies.
I would like a huggie. So I'm gonna marinate on that a little bit.
Yeah,
and maybe,
think about it.
Yeah.
Why don't we
It
take one?
hurts.
We could all take a field trip, get a piercing.
Ooh.
Matthew, where
Matt,
would
what do you want to
you get a
I'm
piercing?
not a big like tattoo piercing person.
Don't lie. Your
This
whole,
is the son
Your whole
of-
back is tattooed.
Yeah.
Don't lie. You have
I could
Whole
see
body.
Ben Affleck like bird.
I could see Matt with like one singular feather. You know?
Oh,
I feel like I would do like a magnetic something because I don't think I would want it
You
forever.
do magnetic. Yeah.
You know?
That'd be cute.
Yeah. I would do like the fake tattoos that stay for like 2 months or something.
Yeah, I do that
Something
too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
I would.
They have a
totally
doodle
be
option.
down
We
for
could
that.
doodle
But-
on Matt.
I love that.
Your
We'll just
signature.
put all of our own names, almost like
won't be
almost
very
like a
crispy.
cast.
Yeah.
We'll sign
yeah.
our names.
Right?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Not the crispiest lines, but you know, it'll stay for 2 months or like a week.
Yeah.
I feel like the only tattoo that maybe I could see you getting was like a band, like a band around your bicep or something. I don't know.
I don't really want
I can't see you with anything. You're like Keith. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Just two people that I'm like, no.
Eugene wants tattoos.
He does.
Yeah.
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 Where?
He
Spill.
He wants to get like
Spill the hot goss.
something on his back to commemorate his parents and stuff. like that.
Oh,
And
that's
like-
sweet.
That's nice.
Like they're both still
Well,
alive.
will men like that? I don't think she'd be.
Eugene's mom would not like that.
That's what
She'd
I
be
was
like,
gonna,
"You got a tattoo to commemorate me?"
I was gonna get a
Yeah.
tattoo of my grandpa's name after he died, and my mom was like, Papa really hated his own tattoo. I don't know if that's the best way. I mean, you can do it, but
Yeah.
I don't think he'd like it. I was like, okay. I'll wait. I'll wait for the cats. Do you guys still check with your parents? So you said you told your mom you're going to get a piercing, and it has like influenced your sort of psyche of whether or not you're going to get it.
Oh, I'm getting it. Yeah, no, it's definitely happening. It's just a matter of when and who goes with
She's
me.
now rebelling.
She's rebelling. I got you, girl. You text me, I'm ready. I can throw another one on here. Lobes, easy. They heal in like 4 weeks.
They
It's
really
perfect.
do.
Love it. Do you guys check other big things with your parents? Like, we are all fairly recent homeowners. Like, when you were in the process of buying a house, did you like call your parents and be like, I don't understand what this is, help? Or like look for any input? Or were you very like, no, this is separate?
For me, I was like, I'm doing this. What advice do you have on this? So it was like less like permission and more like how to do certain items.
Yeah, I think anything like handyman. I'm so used to my dad in college and high school, like helping me with anything that went wrong. So like when it was just me and Zach on our own, I'd be like, Dad, what do we do? Help. Yeah, especially as like a daughter of an engineer, I'm just kind of useless. And so I'll just call him anytime.
I absolutely did.
Yeah, I mean, your
Absolutely.
parents had,
My parents are
you'd
here.
seen them buy
Yeah.
houses and sell. So that was like
yeah.
a process you were kind of used to seeing.
Absolutely used to seeing it. They love buying and selling houses. I
It's all the
pressured.
Girl Scout cookies.
Right?
Love buying and selling houses.
Love buying and selling houses.
Troop 777.
We got you. My dad and I do a lot of projects together. Like we
He built that deck, no?
we built
Or
the
you-
deck together.
we, as in both of
we
you.
built the deck together. But we
We all
just
built the tech.
we both like my dad and I when we would have like rental houses, and when I was really young, my dad, so my great aunt passed, and my dad wanted to, or like the family wanted to sell her house, but she died in her house and was kind of a hoarder. And so we had to, so like my dad, since we lived in Houston and she had lived in Dallas and nobody was close, we just made weekend trips out there to renovate her house, like by ourselves.
Whoa.
I remember being there and helping my dad rip out like old laminate kitchen floors. But yeah, and so I think just growing up, like doing these projects with my dad, I just love it. I love it. And so whenever I see something that I look at it and I'm like, no, I could totally do that. Like I could totally do that. Retiling a bathroom or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't done it
gosh.
yet, but I have tiled things, just very small things.
Ariel,
Becky.
what are you doing? What
She
am I
been
having
looking.
someone come to my house to look at my floor to switch it out?
Well, I'm not saying I would be good at it. That's actually one of the hallmarks
You
of
could
the
practice in the guest house and
That's
then
true.
move inside.
That's true. That's actually one of the
We'll do a
hallmarks
style run.
of the projects that my dad and I do is we often will start and do it wrong.
Oh,
And then we have to
that's
take
how
it
you
out
learn.
and
It's a
do it
learning
again.
process.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a learning process. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And we always joke that like it would have cost just as much to just hire somebody,
but
but we got to do it together.
knowledge,
We got to do it
priceless.
It's
together.
something you find fun. I think like there are certain people that love DIY, home renovation things. They might both be sitting on the couch in front of us. And there are other people sitting on chairs who prefer to ask
For help.
for help and be like, what do we do?
I don't like the trial and error.
I do
no,
not
ma'am.
like, I can't. 2022 is the year of goals. And personally, one of my goals is trying to save more and spend less. Why are you still paying insane amounts of money every month for wireless? Switching to Mint Mobile is the easiest way to save this year. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you maximize your savings with plans starting at just $15 a month. Guys, $15 a month. That is so easy when you switch to Mint Mobile. So I actually went on Mint Mobile's website and compared with what I was spending with another carrier, and it is way more than $15. By going online only and eliminating the traditional cost of retail, Mint Mobile passes significant savings on to you. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/sitwithus. That's mintmobile.com/sitwithus. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/sitwithus. Guys, save some money in 2022 with a better checking account with no monthly fees. Chime is an award-winning app and debit card. It has no overdraft fees, foreign transaction fees, monthly fees, or service fees. You can also send money to anyone, even if they aren't on Chime. Fee-free for you and no cash-out fees for them. Make your first good decision of the new year and join over 10 million people using Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/sitwithus. That's chime.com/sitwithus. Banking service fees provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Get fee-free transactions at any MoneyPass ATM in a 7-Eleven location and at any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Otherwise, out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. Sometimes Pay Anyone instant transfers can be delayed. The recipient must use a valid debit card or be a Chime member to claim funds. Keith likes to remind me that everybody can't do everything perfect the first time, but that doesn't mean we did a bad job.
Oh, listen to Keith.
Sometimes
I'm like,
okay is
what's
good
the point
enough.
of doing anything if it's not perfect? I bought all these like Indian spices and I was making this like curry the other day and I was like, this is going to be great. Or this dal, I was like, it's going to be so good. I was making 2 at once. First one I did not like. And it took a lot of time. And then I refused to eat the second one. Oh my God. Keith had to eat dal for like 4 days. He was like, Becky, he's like, I literally can't eat any more dal. He's like, you have to take a break. But if it's not perfect, why do it? You know?
Because it's fun.
Because you're learning.
And you get to spend time with people that you love.
Because you get more perfect every time.
Yeah. Look at that. You get more perfect every time. Wow.
I feel like that was the perfect, like whenever you see the word spelled in a book, PFFFT, I feel like that was the perfect.
That's true. That was
Poofed.
It's because a little extra wind.
good thing we recorded
I love your
Good thing we
gap.
recorded that. You can start selling that sound.
Oh, Miles, you want to make an audio NFT of my bro, you want to make an NFT?
Becky
Yo, bro, you don't
soundboard.
have any Ethereum? What up, bro?
Oh my God.
I hate it. Someone was
love
talking
this,
about
Becky.
NFTs to us like this last weekend, and I was like, why is it that people just want to talk to you about it when you give them every clear indication of, 1, I don't want to talk about it, and 2, I literally said, I think it's so stupid, like to this guy's face, and he kept talking about it.
It's like they want to convert you, you know? It's like the Jehovah's Witness coming and wanting to like, you know?
Get away from my doorstep. I don't want your weird monkey gifts.
They came to your, they come door to door now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
The monkey gift.
There's like a monkey picture. Did you see the pictures holding that little monkey? And they're like, look at this monkey. Everyone buy this monkey. And I was like, we are living in the Matrix.
Now we all know what to get Becky for her birthday.
I know.
We're not gonna get her for the NFTs.
So enough on our tangents. Back to home. When do you guys think that like you started referring to the home that you either live in or your apartment or your dorm, wherever you were, as home and not your parents? Like your parents' name was home. You know, I'm going home for the holidays. Like, do you remember?
I think it's when I
When that
started
happened.
living with Zach.
I was going to say it's when I started living with Ned.
Because I
We made
lived
our own
yeah.
homes.
Yeah, I lived in I think I moved every single year when I was when I graduated college and started working on my own. I lived with roommates and I kind of moved around a lot, just because like leases were ending and then other friends were leaving and then I'd take their spot in their lease. It was like a whole thing. But I don't think I referred to home until I was with Zach. Literally, home is wherever I'm with you.
Aww.
But yeah.
I think mine was when I moved to LA. Like even
Right, 'cause
before
it's-
I met Eugene, it was like I had moved in with one of my best friends from college. We were roommates. We both were moving to LA with like nothing.
Yeah.
It was like having to build everything up,
That and like being out of
furniture,
state from your parents. I think.
anything,
Yeah.
being so far, we had to create our own sense of home in our little tiny apartment.
Yeah. What about you, Ariel? Because you were a little
Oh, it was
nomad.
It was, yeah, definitely. Well, I think that being a nomad kind of made it so that where my parents were was always home. It didn't matter where it was, or if it was our childhood home, or if it was, an apartment in London or whatever. It was just wherever they were was home. And it got complicated in college because, my parents were still living in London. And so when I would say I'm going to go home for the holidays, I would have to specify that I was going to my parents', place in London, and not that I was going home to Texas, or that I was going to my grandparents' place in, Seattle or wherever. And so, so it definitely got complicated then. And then after college, I was living with girlfriends, and I still, it wasn't long after college that I met Ned. Honestly, I think we met 6 months after I graduated, and then moved in together, not long after that. And that was really when that was home. I think I even started referring to, it was my parents' place. And then I started, kind of saying like, okay, well, I'm excited to go home, like to my house with my husband. Yeah.
I feel like I had a very like transient post-college life where I lived with like different roommates and in a few different apartments. And even when I first moved to LA, until I think we bought our house, I never saw any of those places as like a permanent fixture.
Yeah.
Like I was actually just talking to my girlfriend about this, how people say it everywhere, but I've only really heard it a lot in LA where people say starter home.
Right.
And they're like, oh yeah, well, it's just a starter home. And I'm like, it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's a starter home? Like to me, that phrasing makes it feel like how my apartments felt, that like I couldn't really do anything permanent to them, that I shouldn't get too attached to them because there's always a possibility of like going somewhere else or moving, where like now that I have like my house, I'm like, this is where, we'll see our kids grow up, and this is where I don't know, we're not going to get that old in the house, but
no wonder
Never
it
know.
was so difficult for you guys
Yeah.
to find a house. Becky's walking in.
That's why we looked for 2
Where
years.
are the children going to sleep?
Where are the children? Why aren't they here now?
What about my teenage
babies?
children?
yeah, it was a lot of that. I think that is, actually why it took us about 2 years to actually pull the trigger anywhere.
Had to be perfect.
Yeah, it had to be like a good place that we felt connected to, and that like I wasn't. Some of the houses we had looked at before, I don't know if you guys found this, but like you, Ariel, I'm sure, because you love redoing houses.
I love redoing houses. I love looking at real estate.
So mine was the opposite. I was like, if I walked into a house and I was like, well, I wish that kitchen was over there, I was like, I don't want to live here. Nope. I was like, I want it to be.
This is impossible.
I want it to be a nice little turnkey, but that's not too new and have some heart to it. And maybe I can do something to it later. But like, I didn't want to be looking at my house thinking of things I could do to it in the future. Like in the next, like, year or two.
Right.
But years down the line.
I still want to do things to our house.
But
That just
I've
makes
redid
me
a whole bunch of
excited.
stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like
Stuff
you
like
guys have
that.
like the bug. You like
Do you think you have
love
the bug,
home
Mom?
demo
Yeah.
and
Yeah, like I still want to
you love
redo stuff in our
renovating.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but just the thought of having to live in the renovation too now.
Yeah.
I know.
oh yeah.
No,
lot.
I do love the idea of renovations, and just like, well, I feel like our house right now, I mean, we took it down to the studs and then and just
Totally
completely
bare bones.
You
and
built
yet-
your sort of like dream house.
Yeah. And we just
truth
got
changes.
we just got back to our our house after being away for a few days, and I was like, I love this house. Like I literally thought to myself, like, I did a good job. Because you
did.
Like, damn, you're doing a good job. But because I'm like sitting there doing dishes, the kids are asleep, and I'm just like, this is so easy.
Yeah.
Like, the just the daily things that we do in our house, it's designed for us. And so it just makes everything that much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
and I love that. I bet you do this too, Matt, where I'll see real estate and I'll be like, oh, but if we took out that wall, it would be so much nicer. Or like I see what furniture I would put in certain places, or, you know, like how I could customize it with cabinetry or something like that and just make it so beautiful.
It's all about like optimizing the space. That's what I always think about. Like, because a lot of times looking at houses, you're like, this is not optimized. Like, there's so much wasted space. And waste space here, especially in California, is so expensive.
You really
it's like
have
you
to.
can't leave that couple square feet like unattended or
Yeah.
you know, in a dead zone or not using it or
Yeah, absolutely.
unseen. So I feel like that's when I'm looking at it more from that angle. I'm like, oh, you could really maximize by doing this, that, moving this there, having that insider, you know.
One of the great things about living in LA is that you can consider the outdoor space as well. And like putting the deck in on our house, it added 300 square feet of living space.
Yeah.
I honestly can't imagine your house without that deck because of the way you guys
Use it.
Like you said, you built it to be exactly like,
It's like another living room.
it's built the way that you use it. So I couldn't imagine you without that. Same with like your backyard. And like whenever, you know, people are over, it's like, this is exactly like what Matt wanted.
Yeah.
But he can always find things to change.
Always want to
There
change
are always
things.
things to improve.
What do you want to change now?
I want to redo our bathroom, which is like the original layout of the bathroom, is I want to turn it into master bath.
Oh,
And then we have a couple closets in the hallway that I want to turn one into like a powder room.
lovely.
So that could be like the guest
all your
bathroom
powder.
for
Would
that.
would you do one of those like dark powder rooms where you use like, you know, like dark floral wallpaper or something?
It would have to be like a pretty small room. It'd probably be like when you're on, you know, because our house is pretty small. Our like the bathrooms in like a ship, you know how they're like
Yes.
small and the walls are like not straight up. They're like
Angled.
angled.
So you like bump
like
your
it's
head
gonna
when
be,
you're on the
it's
toilet.
So you
gonna
have
be a powder
like you
room
have like
kind
a
of that.
miniature toilet and a miniature sink.
I mean, it'll be normal size, but
You got that many
I don't think it's big enough to be like
I still do. It's in our
the
garage.
crazy floral design.
So they call them, okay, I'm a little bit obsessed with these, like these jewel box bathrooms that you like, it's this teeny tiny little powder room that, you know, no shower. So it's like a half. And you just go all out on
Like a statement bathroom.
a statement bathroom. Yeah. You just put in full wallpaper on all the walls and the ceiling, you know, so that you open it up and you're like, I've walked into another world.
Yeah. You have to compensate
Alice
for it
in
not
Wonderland.
having a shower.
Exactly.
It's gotta look cool.
Yeah. And if it's mostly it's mostly going to be guests using it. So
Yeah,
you want this
that's
like
true. That's
statement bathroom. I don't know. I had an obsession with tiny homes at one point, and you know, I feel like you learn a lot from going into those deep dives. You know?
Have you guys ever stayed in a tiny home?
No, have you?
Or like a camper?
Oh, I've stayed in a camper. Those are fun.
She's like, no.
No. I would. I have not, but I would. Yeah, considered buying like an Airstream and redoing it or something.
Whoa. Oh, wow. I've always wanted one of those like little putt-putt things that you can pull around. Because don't you ever want to go to like the
Yes.
beach? And then you take a little nap in your putt-putt. And you wake back up. And then you have a lovely little day. I feel like
Traveling around with like your home.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like backpacking where you're traveling with your stuff.
Yeah.
You have everything you need on your back.
You're like a little snail.
You're like a little snail or turtle.
Little
Little little hermit
on your
crab.
back.
Yeah, I never did the backpacking thing. You know, not really
Me neither. I was more of a hotel.
what I wanted to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did. I did it for a whole
Glamping's
year.
fun. Oh my God, you did it for a
Wow.
whole year.
This is why she wants her big backpack.
That's why she wants
It's true. It's true. Carried around with me.
So you've done glamping.
I've done glamping. We've done
What's
it a
the
couple of
difference
times.
between camping and glamping?
Glamorous camping. There's plumbing.
There's plumbing.
There's plumbing. Yeah.
Usually a
Key
mattress.
ingredient,
Yeah.
plumbing.
How does it compare to like camp?
Camp, you're in a tent and there's no plumbing or electricity or Wi-Fi. Glamping, there may not be Wi-Fi, probably not. But there is electricity and there is plumbing.
Did you
But
like
we've
stay
gone
like
to,
in a
like-
yurt or like what was it?
We've stayed in the Russian River. It was like an Airstream campsite.
Cool.
And it was like dog friendly. We brought Bowie. There was another one where we were in Topanga Canyon and it was like, there was like a mini like petting zoo attached to our little camper.
Sounds like
It
a
was
dream.
incredible. There were llamas, there were alpacas, there were horses.
Whoa.
I woke up every morning, had my coffee, went and pet some animals. It was great.
We have had a really wild ride for about 3 years right now. It has been stressful. It has been tiring. And sometimes it just feels good to talk to someone about these stressful and tiring times. And that's why we love BetterHelp. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can connect in a safe and private online environment, and you can start communicating in under 48 hours. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches. There's a broad range of expertise available, and it's more affordable than traditional counseling. Anything you share is totally confidential. They offer licensed professional counselors who are specialized in depression, stress, relationships, sleeping, trauma, family conflicts, and many more. So many people have been using BetterHelp, they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. We want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/sitwithus. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/sitwithus.
That sounds like a dream.
Yes.
For you especially.
Yeah. And the woman who was the host was a vegan chef, so she'd drop off delicious baked goods every morning. Oh, a dream.
Why did you leave?
Why did I leave, honestly?
Petting zoo and fresh desserts. Is that what camp is?
Yeah.
Camp you go to when you're a kid?
Probably.
Is that what happens?
That's mostly like canoeing and swimming. And,
Yeah.
you know, maybe riding horses for me and Matt.
I never went to an overnight camp. I went to day camp.
You never went to overnight camp?
Not even
Day
like
camp,
science
go for
camp.
the day,
either,
like
Becky?
Two
pick up
nights.
at night.
Maggie.
Yeah. I went to like science camp. There was like a weekend, but never like sleepaway camp, which was like months long, which is what a lot of
Yeah,
kids
6
on the
weeks.
East Coast
Six
do.
6 or 8 weeks. Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I think of my house now, I think when I feel most at home is like at night when I'm doing my nightly routine. Usually Zach's there. What else?
What's your routine?
My
What's your
routine?
nightly
Cleaning,
routine?
cleaning up after Mr. Zachary, who likes to pull out everything and everything.
Sounds like kimbap.
Yeah. And
Like 12 teacups.
Bowie has like 12 socks around the house always.
You
It's a
you live in
large,
the
big screen
the
TV.
newest home.
Yeah, I live in the newest home. We haven't had a lot of guests over just because we were furnishing for a while and then waiting on furniture pieces.
I mean, you showed some things off to me today.
I did show off some
So-
things, but I always have like a lot of anxiety with having people over because I feel like I don't have enough space to host. I was just talking to Matt about this, but
So much space.
so much space.
So much
There's
space.
seating space, but I was like, you know what? We're just going to have people over for the Super Bowl. Just tell them, Zach, just have them. It's
You
fine.
make it
Floor.
work. You make it work.
Yeah, we make it work.
People sit anywhere.
I know. You guys are the best. But
They're there for the food, not for the game.
the
Truth,
food
truth.
and the
Don't tell
halftime show.
Most of the people are going to be standing around in the kitchen, like
That's
eating
true.
anyway.
That's true. We're going to get a big TV.
Oh, like we did like 5 years ago or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a little bigger, and we're finally going to mount it onto the wall. So since we've moved in, I think we've almost lived in our house. In a couple months, it'll be a year, and we still have not mounted the TV. So
Oh
I
my
think we're
gosh.
still like making our house a home. And
That's going to be the final nail where
Yeah.
they're like, we're staying here. Boom.
exactly, there's permanent holes in this wall now. No sealing these holes anytime soon. But I think my favorite thing about my home is we recently got a king size bed.
Whoa, Maggie.
Game changer.
That's next
The best.
level.
We haven't even gotten king size pillows, so anytime we make our bed, it's a little wimpy looking because we have like the standard like full size pillows from my old bed. So we've yet to upgrade our pillows. We're very attached to our pillows. I think Zach inherited mine because he loves it and he's very particular because his neck and everything. But we're in the market for some king size pillows,
Oh, nice.
putting down some roots.
Did you also get the adjustable bed when you got a bed?
No, we were offered the adjustable
Because that
option.
is the best thing.
You guys have an adjustable bed?
a house, a home.
I thought those were for old
You've
people.
never, that's what Eugene thought too. Now he wants it.
Yeah.
Now he loves his
It's
own
the
comfort
best.
support.
Do you work in
You
your
put
like
your feet up. You can
your
like,
head up?
You put your head up. You know, you can make your own like little desk and like do work in there.
Ooh.
Is that when you feel
so
most
comfortable.
at home?
That's where I
Matt?
feel most at home.
Do you
is
ever
in my
adjust
adjustable
it
bed.
In your adjustable bed you're working on your computer.
Yeah.
And it doesn't adjust both sides, right? You can adjust your side.
Yeah.
So you could like go up like
Independently.
45 degrees at 2 a.m. when you're sleeping.
Do you
Like
ever?
you're snoring.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you could elevate them when they're snoring,
Yeah, exactly.
and then they would stop snoring.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That would be nice.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
it's pretty
Sometimes
great.
I have like reflux and I wish that my bed was adjustable so I could like lift my head a little up, like a little baby.
Like when you're like when you're sick, a cold sinus thing.
Yeah.
That's actually really smart.
It's really helpful. Or when you've been like walking all day, your like feet are sore.
Ooh,
You're an
get
old
that
person.
blood
You wanna
flow
put your
back
feet
Put your
down.
feet up in your
Loves
bed.
But was that that's really
So
your,
Ariel,
that's when
we
your
are
house
old
was
people.
a home?
I don't know why
Matt?
you say you're young. We are
No,
old
you're
people.
right. You're right. Yeah. when I think about like life's pleasures, I am an old person.
Exactly.
It's
right?
the little thing.
Yeah, I think it's like when you feel like you're at home when you start kind of customizing things to your lifestyle, right? So the bed is kind of an example of that. And I love like the home. The home smart technology. You know,
Oh, yeah.
do
I
love.
love like
You guys have
creating
good-
those
It's movie
routines.
time.
It's the best thing. So you just like say something like I say it's movie time, and it puts down all of the blinds and it turns off all the lights.
That is
Cinema.
awesome.
And it like synchronizes the right speakers and all this stuff. So then a movie can play, and it's like your ultimate experience. And you don't have to lift a finger. You just say
Yeah.
it's movie time. So I think things like that
Yeah.
make it easier for you to live there, and it's like customized to your life.
I'm imagining if I had something like that in my house. Wes has started talking to the Google.
Just copy it.
He started
Yes.
going like, "Hey Google, play." He really likes. Okay, so you guys know the Wellerman song that became famous on TikTok.
Sing
The
it.
Soon may the Wellerman come.
Oh,
to bring
yes,
us
yes,
joy.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So they did a remix version.
For kids.
For kids. No, it's not for kids. It's just a regular old remix version. But they play it on YouTube with the video, and it's this hilarious like 80s music video that they did. And so Wes will play the Wellerman remix on YouTube,
Yeah.
like on the Google Home thing. And so I can just imagine what Wes would do when he's like, "It's movie time."
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How do
If
you
you
feel,
wanted
Ariel, when the kids are running around, the sun is shining, you're using your indoor outdoor space? Is that when you feel like you're at home, or is it when it's, quiet time and you're getting baby snuggles?
You know,
Or is it when the grandparents are watching the kids?
it changes. Like I remember when we first moved in, it was sitting in that like TV area with friends, and there could be people in the kitchen and people like in the like living room and people on the deck, and we could kind of all like we all still felt like we were in the same space.
Yeah.
And now with the kids, it's in that space still, in that like central space with the kids running around, crawling around on the couches or whatever. And I'm usually doing dishes, or like drinking a glass of wine and cooking while somebody's running around or Ned's grilling outside or something. And I mean, the outdoor space is huge. Just letting the kids run around and like I've started doing this thing where I'll be like, "Wes, come inside," and it just feels very like, I don't know, Little House on the Prairie, where I'm just like, "Okay, kids, where are you? Time to come inside. I don't see you.
Yeah.
Are you
Gotta
hurt?"
ring the bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a very traditional like TV idea of like,
Yeah.
calling the kids in.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
playing with kids down the street,
Right. Yeah.
What about you, Becky?
I would say like Ariel, it rotates. Like I love just like watching TV with the kitty cats and Keith. But we also probably like the hardest part about moving when we did in the pandemic was that we just love having people over. And it was very important to us to have a house that could feel like a big open space for our like friends and like entertaining. And then we weren't able to entertain anyone for probably the whole year.
Yeah.
But you do have a wonderful entertaining house.
So fun.
So I feel like those are like the times where I'm like, oh, this is like, I don't know. Yeah. When people are over, like helping put the dishes away, or like, when in the pandemic we were watching Drag Race and I'd be like, oh, Matt, will you go get the, whatever knife, and he like knows where it is.
Oh,
When your friends kind of know your house, and it's like, oh yeah.
yeah.
That's when I'm like, oh, that's sweet.
And you get to share.
Yeah.
Becky always asked me to get the knife.
Get the knife.
Chop it up, man.
Yeah, or somebody's like, grab another bottle of wine, and you're like, I know exactly where Matt's wine fridge is.
Yeah.
It's just sort of a
Mi casa is su casa.
like
I
you
love
get
the
to know other
community
people's
feel.
houses. Yeah.
Where like if people come over, I'm like, oh, you don't have to ask to get something like out of the fridge.
Shot.
Woo. I think that's what a home is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The people you put inside of it. And you guys, on that beautiful note, we are closing out this episode together in our work home
Yeah.
with our work wife Miles. Woo! But this was very sweet. I loved hearing about all your stories of your home and your families.
And
So
I can't
cute.
wait to hang out all the time in Maggie's house.
Yes.
Woo!
It's getting there.
The year of yes, 2022.
Yes.
We're getting in that house.
Yes.
Can't wait.
That TV's getting mounted.
Maggie's.
Yes. Take a picture
She's
of the
got a hot
TV
tub
when it's
now, so,
mounted.
I got a little inflatable hot tub. Forgot to tell you guys that. That's what makes it a home.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell
Yeah. It has not been put to use yet. Zachary brought it home without permission.
Whoa.
It's fine. It's fine.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for sitting with us. Make sure to email us at youcansitwithuspod@gmail.com. Like and comment and listen and download and tell your friends about us. But until next time, wash your hands, pee after any form of sex, wear your mask, get vaccinated. If you have a cold, get tested. Don't forget you can go online, and the government is supposed to send us some.
Yeah, eventually.
Someday.
Eventually,
Someday.
they're
Yeah,
coming
someday.
through the post office.
Yep.
So we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.